A former WWE superstar has disclosed that Vince McMahon and Triple H had a power struggle in the company last year. Formerly known as Cameron Grimes, Trevor Lee stated that the game wasn't fully in charge. The former chairman of the board publicly announced his retirement in 2022 after allegations of sexual misconduct, only for him to force his way back into WWE in January last year. The cerebral assassin was the head of creative during McMahon's absence, but the latter interjected himself back into the process. Speaking to Denise Salcedo in a recent interview, Trevor Lee reflected on his main roster run and stated that there was a power struggle between Triple H and Vince McMahon, as the former WWE CEO used to change the script and didn't like NXT stars. Although the buff Barbie has only been on the main roster for numerous months, she's already one of the top female stars in WWE. She's also potentially a future champion, as she has the Money in the Bank contract. In the wrestling world, the backstage dynamics are often as intriguing as the stories in the ring. Few power struggles have been as closely watched by WWE insiders and fans as the ongoing tension between WWE's founder, Vince McMahon, and the current head of creative, Paul Triple H Levesque. With both men wielding significant influence, their differing visions for WWE have sometimes clashed. Recently, a former WWE star revealed just how complex the power dynamics between Triple H and Vince McMahon have been, shedding light on the struggle for creative control that has shaped WWE in 2023. This inside perspective has fueled speculation about WWE's direction, as well as how these competing visions impact the superstars and the quality of the product itself. Triple H, a WWE Hall of Famer and 14-time world champion, began his journey behind the scenes nearly a decade ago. Although he built a name for himself as The Game in the ring, his influence began to extend beyond performing when he took the reins of WWE's developmental brand, NXT. Under his leadership, NXT evolved from a small developmental territory to an internationally acclaimed brand, known for its focus on pure wrestling, high-quality storytelling, and showcasing talent from around the globe. Fans and critics alike praised Triple H's approach, which leaned toward long-term storytelling, diverse rosters, and more nuanced character development. By late 2022, with Vince McMahon briefly stepping away from WWE following a series of controversies, Triple H found himself in control of WWE's main roster creative. The product began to change. Fans saw deeper storylines, revitalized characters, and a greater emphasis on wrestling itself. Superstars who had struggled for screen time were suddenly given new opportunities, while fresh talent from NXT was called up, reinvigorating WWE's flagship shows. The future looked promising, and many thought Triple H would permanently steer WWE into a new era. In early 2023, Vince McMahon made a surprising return to WWE as the executive chairman, with a clear goal of overseeing WWE's eventual sale. While his involvement was initially said to be limited to the business side, insiders noticed that his influence over creative decisions was beginning to re-emerge. As the months went on, whispers about McMahon overruling Triple H's decisions and changing scripts started circulating. A former WWE star, who spoke anonymously, revealed that Triple H wasn't fully in charge, even though it might have looked like it on the surface. Vince was still there, making final calls, especially on big decisions. For Triple H, this unexpected shift was a potential setback. After months of driving a vision for WWE that resonated with fans, he now found himself constrained by McMahon's looming presence. McMahon's style, marked by fast-paced storylines, more scripted promos, and a preference for larger-than-life characters, was at odds with Triple H's focus on wrestling and storytelling depth. According to the former WWE star, Hunter has always believed in letting stories breathe and giving wrestlers freedom to make it their own. Vince, though, he likes to keep his hand on everything. At the heart of the power struggle between Vince and Triple H lies a fundamental difference in how each man views the wrestling business. Vince McMahon, often regarded as a visionary, took wrestling from regional promotions to a global entertainment empire. His vision made WWE a household name and solidified its position in pop culture. His approach has always leaned toward spectacle, catering to the casual fan with storylines designed for maximum impact and broad appeal. Characters were either larger-than-life heroes or ruthless villains, and storylines often veered toward soap opera drama, punctuated with bold twists and shock value. Triple H, however, came up in the wrestling business as a student of the craft itself. His work in NXT showcased his respect for in-ring performance and a storytelling style that many fans associated with classic wrestling. He emphasized athleticism, well-paced matches, and character arcs that fans could connect with over time. His vision is often described as fan-centric, aimed at satisfying both dedicated fans and new viewers. Triple H's NXT was something special, the former WWE star said. It was a place where the art of wrestling was front and center, and he wanted to bring that to the main roster. The tension between these philosophies has led to unpredictable shifts in WWE's programming. Under Triple H's influence, storylines grew in complexity, with stars like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Finn Balor given deeper character development. But when Vince reasserted his authority, fans noticed abrupt changes to storylines, odd booking decisions, and last-minute script rewrites that often left talent feeling lost. According to the former WWE star, one week you'd be doing something, and then the next, Vince would come in, and everything would be flipped on its head. It was confusing, especially for the younger guys. The shifting power dynamic has had a noticeable impact on WWE's talent. Triple H's tenure was marked by a collaborative environment where wrestlers felt empowered to contribute ideas and even participate in the creative process. Wrestlers like Bray Wyatt and Karrion Kross, whose characters require complex storytelling, were particularly excited to work with Triple H. "Hunter listens," the former star said. "He takes the time to understand what a character needs, what they're about." With Vince, it's more of a do-what-you're-told environment. For many wrestlers, the power struggle has created uncertainty. Wrestlers who were given new storylines and character development under Triple H's guidance have sometimes found themselves sidelined when McMahon's influence re-emerged. It's left some wrestlers feeling caught in the crossfire. According to the former WWE star, you never really know who's in charge. One week, Triple H's fingerprints are all over the show, and the next week, it's like Vince has taken over again. It can mess with your momentum. The power struggle between Vince McMahon and Triple H has not gone unnoticed by fans, who have expressed mixed reactions to WWE's recent programming. Hardcore fans who prefer long-term storytelling and in-ring focus have been vocal in their support for Triple H, applauding his creative direction and calling for Vince to step aside. Meanwhile, some longtime WWE viewers appreciate Vince's involvement, believing that his style adds the shock value and spectacle they associate with WWE. Social media has become a battleground for these discussions, with fans dissecting every episode for clues about who's in charge. When a storyline seems well-developed and cohesive, fans praise Triple H's influence. When episodes feel disjointed or overly scripted, they point to McMahon's return. The result has been a divided fanbase, with some clamoring for Triple H to take full control and others calling for a balance between the two visions. As 2023 draws to a close, the power struggle between Vince McMahon and Triple H remains unresolved. With WWE's recent merger with Endeavor and the formation of TKO Group, which oversees both WWE and UFC, there is hope that a more stable power structure will emerge. Insiders suggest that the merger could either cement Triple H's role as head of creative or lead to an even tighter grip by Vince as he seeks to protect WWE's legacy under new ownership. The former WWE star shared his hopes for the future. Wrestling is evolving, and Triple H has the right idea about how to take WWE forward. But Vince is a legend without him. There'd be no WWE as we know it. If they could just find common ground, I think WWE would be better than ever.